Okay, I'm hooking up an extension phone. I got this wire at Radio Shack. It's indoor-outdoor wire because I'm connecting it to the telephone box outside. And I got this this jack here at Walmart. This roll of cord was $14.90 something. This jack was about $5. So that's a good price on this wire. I looked all over Amazon and eBay, and it was cheaper right at the Radio Shack store. Okay, so I cut the wire off, and you can see there's 4 wires inside there. So I'm going to have to cut a little bit of the black wire off here without cutting those inside wires. So that's going to be a little tricky. So what I'll do is I'll just take a pair of scissors and lightly go around the edge until it's cut the whole way through. Okay, I got that cut off, and you can see there's four wires. Red and green is line 1. And then the other 2 are for like a line 2. The yellow and black is for line 2. But for most houses, you don't need the other 2. You can just leave them off if you want. We're only using the red and green. So that's going to go inside of this box here. So we have to open up this box, just stick a screwdriver or something inside the edge here and pry it open. So the black wire will go on this side. Telephone will be plugged into this side. You can just hook this up to one of those little white plugs, but that's it's kind of tough working with these small wires, so I don't bother. I just hook a jack to it. Okay, so inside this jack here, you can see 2 wires are green and red, and the other 2 wires are yellow and black. So what you do is you just loosen these screws up and add your other wire to this jack. So this wire here. So you can just cut these, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use a lighter and just burn off the tips, and that way I won't damage the wire. So okay, so you can see I got that black wire stuck in here, and I've got way too much wire here, so I'm going to go ahead and clip off the excess before I burn the plastic off. Okay, so I'll show you how to do one of these. You just kind of heat up the wire. Let it cool for a second, and then grab it and pull it. And hopefully it cools off enough you don't burn your finger. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I loosened up the screws here. So just stick your wire inside here, and then wrap this around the same spot, black to black. Red to red. Green to green. When you put these on, wrap it around the same way that when you tighten the screw, the wire's going the same way as you screw it on. That keeps the wire tight. Yellow to yellow. And, you know, we're only using the the red and green, right? But I go ahead and connect all 4 of them. It helps hold it in place. It gives it a little extra strength to hold the wire in there, because this isn't going to be attached to anything. It's just kind of sitting there. Tighten them up. So you can see there's really no magic to this stuff. It's pretty easy. Okay, and then just take this, then just take your top, and it just snaps into place here. Okay. If you want, there's 2 screws that you can use to bolt this onto the wall, but for this one I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to leave it sit on the floor. Okay. So now we go outside and connect this black wire to the telephone box. I've got this wire going through the floor here down into the basement, and I ran it outside. Okay, so here's the other end of the wire. You can see the black and red we aren't using. We're only going to use the yellow and, or no, we're using red and green. Right? Black and yellow. We don't bother to connect those, because that's line 2. So we're using red and green here. Here's the telephone box. And we open up the telephone box here. Okay. So the telephone company brings the lines in here, and then we connect it to this side here. Each one of these would be a separate line, you know. So in our house, we could actually have up to what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines. You know, why they have a box with 6 lines on the house, I don't know. It's probably the only one the guy had in the box. So I just happen to know that our main line is on this one here, and I just figured that out from hit and miss, and that's where the telephone company had most of the lines hooked up to. So this is the tricky part. You just have to be real careful not to mess up the other lines. So we just loosen this up just a little bit, and you can see it's color coded, red and green. Okay, so we take red and green, and we have to burn off the wire here.
Okay, done.
Okay, so take your lighter, burn the plastic off. Just heat it up, wait for it to cool for a second, and then pull it off. That's
I tell you, the wind's blowing it out.
okay. Then just take green to green. Come up through the hole here. There's a hole to go up into the box. We've got a mess here. I don't think it would matter much, but just in case. Okay, so green to green. You gotta have small fingers to get up inside there, and red to red.
See, if you curl it around a screwdriver or something, You can get a loop there before to make it easier.
Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, and then tighten her up. Don't tighten it so you break it, just real light.
How come we always do this at night? Isn't it? I think some of this film is not going to be very good.
So I've got a mess there because we've got lots of lines connected to that box. So. Okay, so if we're lucky, that should work.